Bro Science get you fighter and the kid. Yes, I'm talking about Brandon Schaub. Anyway, all right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the MMA Advocates. My name is Eddie Law. Of course, we have out of LA, Jesse Rubacava from Dayton, Ohio, Fred Kirby, and Mr. Dave Rodriguez out of ABQ. And of course, first-time guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Jon Lee. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right. We're all representing different states at this point, so that works out pretty good. All right. So obviously this last weekend, if you guys watched our post-fight shows on Sunday, we broke down UFC Nashville. We're going to touch on it very lightly today, mostly on things like, for example, let's just start off with Diego Sanchez. Now, I know it's one of your guys, Dave. Diego says he wants to fight again. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said, man, on the post-fight show, I mean, really, Diego, it's an unlikely thing the way he got knocked out. I mean, we've seen Lozon, take him out, but I mean, Diego's still got plenty of fight in him at his age. I mean, he does have a million miles, don't get me wrong, and plenty of battles and pretty war-torn at that. But still, man, Diego's a competitor. Like I said, he'll disintegrate on the mats at Jackson's gym. You know what I mean? He'll always be involved in the sport and continue to fight for sure. I think he's already back into the gym. So more than likely we see Diego booked again, and hopefully they bring that shit to Albuquerque, man, because they're long overdue. Bring that shit back to ABQ, even if it is his last one or one of his last fights. So that'd be an ideal situation, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be into seeing him have maybe like one more fight in Albuquerque against a grappler. I'm not really here to see Diego get knocked out again. Like, that was a bad knockout. Like, the Lozon thing was volume and like whatever, but that one, that's like the beginning of the end, like with Liddell. Like, that's just going to keep happening if he keeps fighting dudes who hit hard. And he's crazy. So, I mean, he's not going to stop. So, I mean, the UFC has to keep booking him, or Bellator or some other, like, organization will book him. But, man, I really don't want to see it again.
Now, Fred, do you think it was more Al Quinta knocking him out, or Diego Sanchez with all the miles that he's got on him?
Little of both. Al hits hard and Diego's fucking shop worn. But the problem is, man, people still want to – the people in the know may know that Diego's shop worn and that he doesn't need to take any punishment, but the dude bros don't give a shit. You could – if they fucking book Chuck Liddell tomorrow, people line up in droves, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Randy 16. The fucking dude bros would eat it right up. So, I mean, Diego's one of those cats. That's why BJ still gets fights. It's like once you reach a certain level, you'll always have that fucking type of fame. So it kind of, it's on the UFC. If the UFC decides to say no, it's no. But as long as Diego wants to go, they're going to eat, you know what I'm saying? They don't want him going to Bellator because he's still a draw. I agree. Give him a grappler. I guess it depends on who you put him against, right? I definitely don't want to see fucking Diego just get fucking taken to the slaughter, because that's no fucking fun. But if they book him right, maybe, fuck it. What are you going to do?
Jesse, look,
regardless, right?
Yeah, at some point, right? Because someone, if the UFC, for example, cuts him, he'll go right to Bellator. They'll pay him. Yeah. But Jesse, we have Diego Sanchez on there. We also have Jake Ellenberger. Which one do you think we see first back in the cage?
I think both of them. I think both of them have come out and said that they're looking at their mistakes and they're gonna analyze that, switch stuff up, and get back in there. So. I know Diego Sanchez had an interview with Luke Thomas, I think either today or yesterday. Yeah, today. I didn't get to hear it, but I guess the highlights were that he wants to get back in there. He's still got more in the tank. I think the best solution is you do what they just did with what's his name, Jacare. You give him a long contract and then you just don't offer him fights. You just give him a 12-fight contract, pay him out pretty good his next fight, and then after that, don't offer him any fights and just keep him under contract so he can't go get hurt somewhere else, and just have him do PR, man. Fly him around. Diego Sanchez is a guy that you can put in front of fans and he's gonna perform. He's gonna be fun. He's gonna give the fans exactly what they want. The Diego Sanchez experience, a UFC fighter that's been there and done everything, and fans are gonna eat that up. Pay him to go travel around and go to all these events. I mean, there's things you can do with him, but definitely not give him any more fights, man. That was scary. His future was right there, like you just mentioned, Jake Ellenberger. That's his future. What was it? 4 fights in a row he got KO'd. Yeah. You just don't want to see that from a guy that's given so much to our sport and given all of us that much of entertainment. No more.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
Right in the pussy. Bullshit. We're not paying Diego to go on a fucking old folks. Listen, man, this is fighting. It's prize fighting. If he if the doctor does not say that he's a quack job and he says he wants another fight as a man, we'll pay him and he can go fight. And if he gets laid the fuck out again, he might want to think about signing on the dotted line. Or a doctor should say, hey, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's punch drunk. At the end of the day, man, nobody's making Diego fight. We're not going to fucking sign him to a long contract and send him on farewell tours. If he wants to fight, fuck it. Let him fight. I mean, they don't got to be cunty and put him against fucking, a top 3 guy or something, but fuck that. Let him earn his keep or let him go out on his sword. He's a fucking soldier, man, Let him go out.
Yeah, which he will. Yeah, no, Diego.
Fight him, dude? No, Dave. Would CM Punk have the balls to fight Diego Sanchez?
Hell no.
Don't be a fucking asshole, Eddie.
I'm just saying.
But also, though, fellas, on the side of Jake Ellenberger, though, as bad as it was, like him getting knocked the fuck out, I think like Mike Perry has a more longer medical suspension somehow that worked out. But keep in mind, Jake just signed a new deal, like a 6-fight deal, so he's definitely going to be back in there. As bad a run as he's had against top competition, he'll be back in there, absolutely. And he's got like a whole gang of knockouts on his record. So knockout artist in his own getting flatlined by Mike Perry. So it's basically the rise of Mike Perry part 2 in that particular matchup, though.
Yeah, well, the nasty short elbow was beautiful. All right, well, at least Edmund's not in this fucking corner anymore, right? That shit would have been worse. But anyway.
Yes, Jake. Yes, Jake.
Exactly, right? Head movement. No, the whole time slamming that shit.
Yeah.
All right. Fight book on the YouTube comments says Fred shaved his beard. He looks like Chris Jericho.
I'll fucking take it.
Hey, why not? Chris Jericho's he's done his thing, man. All right, baby Chapo about to be born soon. Of course, when Dave writes something like that, it's of course means somebody else, not Chapo, but good old Conor McGregor about to have a kid. Now, here's the funny thing about that shit. He put up that video where he's like showing some boxing skills here and there, head movement, all that other shit, and then he goes, "That's how I'm gonna teach my son." People took that last part. And articles flew out the fucking ass on every website.
That's not the first time he said that, though. Like, He had that other quote about how his records will only be broken by his kids. Like, I can imagine Conor McGregor being, like, the king of the fucking overly enthusiastic parent at the sporting event. Like, Conor's all about making things all about himself. Conor's overbearing. Conor's a blowhard, right? Conor likes the sound of his own voice. Like, that kid is getting pushed into boxing or some combat sport, and Conor's going to be there cheering and doing the Michael Jordan at the Hall of Fame thing and talking about how he was better in his day, too.
Yeah. Fucking, Conor, when he was doing when he's coaching Tough, he was screaming his ass off, calling, his own fighter an idiot and all this other shit.
Yes.
So, wonder what he would say to his own kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, but regardless, that's the reason he wasn't at Artem Lobov's corner. That weirds me out a little bit. Like I ain't say Conor.
Or that he don't give a fuck about Artem and Artem ain't phone. I mean, Artem was there like a fucking kid who's like waiting for his parents to come to one of his sporting events, like just looking at the empty chair, like hoping to go up.
Conor don't give 2 shits about Artem. Let me tell you something. I've got 2 kids. Kids are the best excuse ever. Sorry, bruh. I'm having a kid in like fucking 3-4 weeks or something. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. That fucking little punk ass kid ain't going to be here for like 3 more weeks. Conor could have been there.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He don't care about Artem. Listen.
Kavanaugh don't give a fuck. No one gave a fuck about that dude.
Yeah.
Artem's a loser. It sucks, but they all knew he was going there to lose. He's not a winner.
Losers lose, bro. Losers lose, and they knew.
For real. They left him to sink.
But if he would have won, then he would have been loved, and it would have been the rise of fucking Lobov.
He did win by going to a decision. Cub Swanson lost that fight via going to a decision with a dude who's a jobber with a 500 record. You lost, Cub. Artem won. He survived. Moral victories are for minor league coaches and jobbers.
He does have a real shitty record. On the comment, you guys tell me what you think of this one. Eastside Rider says, once again, Jesse's the voice of reason. Fred sounding more like Trump every show. Cut the man bun and buy some hairspray. Nobody will know the difference.
more like Trump. What is he, fucking sniffing ether? Jesse, the voice of reason, by fucking saying what? That we should fucking give Diego a nice little cushy fucking party?
I mean, what's just happening in the UFC? They don't give a fuck about Diego.
This is fight
Do you think
sport, not
Ari
tennis.
Emanuel even knows who Diego Sanchez is? Because I would say no.
Probably not. Yeah, no.
No,
He has no idea who that dude is.
No.
Not at all. All right. Now, of course, we have to cover. Not cover. We don't have to cover. But it's some super TMZ shit on the TMZ fucking news line. Ronda Rousey and Travis Browne are getting married. Does anybody here give a fuck?
No.
Big pile of who gives a shit.
All right, voice of reason.
That
Anything on
one
that?
chick used to fight till she got knocked out a couple times or something. I don't know. I sort of remember that name from something.
She got a couple more. She got a couple more knockouts coming her way if she don't make that sandwich right.
Exactly.
Travis
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You're right. It's a good point. We never
That's
thought.
right. Correct.
We never
the
got
way
any.
Travis Brown's looked lately, she might be able to get him on the ground, and then it's over.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, then his arms gone.
Yeah.
You guys better stop it. I'm the one in California that they might hunt down and beat up. All right, you guys better.
And that's real talk. They will like find you and try to kick your ass because they're insecure like that.
Let me tell you something. If they just got married, I wish they would kick my ass. Ronda Rousey's all kinds of money. Travis Brown, you can personally suck my dick. If you see me in public, you hit me one time, I'm suing everybody.
Travis Brown has a noted small penis, so I mean, is it really a surprise he's that much of a dick? It doesn't really shock me.
If I see him in the club, that's the first thing I'm doing. Hey,
right?
Travis.
That would be my first thing.
Yeah.
He'd break my jaw, but then
I mean, I get fucked up. Like he would definitely, but I'd be rich because Ronda would pay me off.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Like a good life plan. I'm into it.
Has he?
Get off that topic. Who bought the ring? It was definitely Ronda, right? She bought the ring.
Yeah.
Either that or she gave him an allowance and told him what ring she wanted.
I wonder. Listen. All bullshit aside, I wonder if she signed the prenup.
Oh, fucking for
I think she's crazy. No, I would say no. She's crazy.
Ooh.
No way. She signed the prenup. She's got to have
crazy.
a lawyer.
One of those like crazy, like love you, hate you type chicks. No chance.
Oh shit, man. She might lose all that money.
And Coach Edmond will be the best man, right? Is that like a happy fucking ending for everybody there, right?
Edmond's probably gonna give her away since her pops did the old.
Oh, that is dark.
Wow.
Damn.
Dark for real, and I guess you already know that.
Wow.
It's the great team wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Let's move on. Talk a little more serious shit. Chris Weidman thinks he could have gone on and beaten Gegard Mousasi had that fight continued, right?
I thought you said on to more serious stuff.
I know. I was joking.
I mean, like, isn't the most lost and deluded fighter out there right now? Like, it just makes me sad, man. Like,
Listen. He did do pretty good that first round.
All right, but I mean,
as far as it goes, I mean,
the tide was turning, and he literally has no defense. His defense, like I always joke about the Weidman wheel kick, but the real problem was that when Luke Rockhold got him on the ground, he just shelled up rather than like trying to get on a hip or shrimp out or anything. And that's what he does. He shells up against the cage, he shells up on the ground, and he just thinks he can take punishment. But like, you can't do that, dude. You're fighting the best guys in the world. You can't just cover up and hope you're gonna like get through it on toughness and balls and New Jersey. You know, like. So, I mean, to me, the thing is, like, yes, he won the first round, but the thing is, like, I would like to see him go to 205 because every time his wrestling doesn't work, he gasses himself out at 185 because he struggles to make that weight. You see it all the time. The only guys he's effectively wrestled were Mark Munoz in the first round of their fight and Anderson in the first round of their second fight, and he knocked him down, so even that was kind of questionable as to whether it was, like, straight wrestling that he got him down with, right? So he's never really dominated wrestling despite his like wrestling pedigree or whatever, and I think part of it's because he shoots singles, like he doesn't have a great cage takedown game, his clinch is kind of overrated, and he just struggles to get dudes down, whereas I think if he didn't have that weight cut, he'd have more energy, he wouldn't feel as bad, and you know, with that wingspan he's got, he could compete at 205 is shallow. Vlala Uza, whatever the fuck, is the number 5 rated light heavyweight. You tell me Chris Weidman can't beat that dude? I don't know.
That's a very good point. Very good point. All right, now here's the thing. Well, go ahead, Jesse.
No. I think the worst thing about that whole thing is his wording of that whole situation. Chris Weidman said he dominated that fight.
Yes, exactly. That's why I said he was delusional. Like, it was a close fight.
That is the worst thing ever. Like, I get it. You're always confident in how you're doing, but saying that you dominated the entire fight up until that point is like saying that Fred Curvey's gonna bang Ariane Celeste and all the ring card girls tomorrow. We all know that ain't gonna happen.
Hey, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I thought he dominated that first round. I'm just saying.
To me, this is the problem of brain damage already occurring in a current fighter because of the knockouts he's received, the punishment he's receiving, the weight cuts that he's doing, and just basically all his skills dropping off so badly after his first initial attack. If you see the first round, did well, gassed out, started getting beaten. You know,
I also think this is the flip side of that Conor irrational confidence. If we go back to when Weidman was champ, he was talking about fighting Jon Jones. He was talking about being undefeated. He was talking about being the best ever. And it turned out that he was one of a group of top dudes, but he wasn't that dude, you know, which is what I think is going to eventually happen to Conor as well. But it's just hard to be that dude in the UFC, man. Like, it's hard to be the dominant champion. And it's easy for us to, like, after the fact say, oh, he beat a shot Anderson and, like, you know, a shot Lyoto. But I thought Machida looked good in that fight. You know, Anderson was the shit till he wasn't. And Vitor was shot, but there was a whole bunch of other shit going on with that. But, I mean, the thing is just that Weidman has always been confident, right? Like, there's that story about how the first, like, MMA session he went in with a pro boxer and allegedly beat him up, because I don't believe a damn thing Ray Longo or Matt Serra say, but allegedly that's the story. Because he's always just believed that he was going to dominate everyone. If you listen to the way he was talking to Rockhold, like, Rockhold and Weidman were always the blue chippers at 185 back to, like, 2007 or when I stopped reading those, like, small-time reports, right? Like, those were the dudes at 185 who were, like, a cut above the rest. And this dude was talking to Luke Rockhold, who I hate, by the way, least favorite fighter of all time. But he was talking about Luke Rockhold like he was going to steamroll Luke Rockhold. And I was like, ugh. Yeah. That's not really, like, the way you should be talking, you know? And it just so happens that unlike Conor, who's, like, rolled sevens every time he comes up against adversity and might be a better fighter than Weidman, too, Weidman started crapping out, right? He craps out against fucking Rockhold with the wheel kick. He craps out against Yoel where he's winning that fight and then just gets Yoel'd, you know? And then he craps out against Mousasi where he thinks he's playing the rules, which was bullshit anyway. That was whack. I mean, if anything, like, we're not making enough of the fact that a professional fighter was trying to game the system like that rather than fight back, right? Like, how about you stop Mousasi from kneeing you in the face rather than trying to game the rules? And, you know, again, it goes against him, and now he's unlucky. But to me, it's like, that's how fast you can go from greatest of all time to, like, a dude just holding on in the UFC.
But I feel like you gotta have that mentality, though, man. Like, that mentality
for sure. You
probably
absolutely
what drove him to beat Anderson Silva, because he thought, I'm the fucking greatest. So, and listen, I'll give him this. In the Rockhold fight, you can think what you want.
Doing well.
Right, exactly. In the Yoel fight, doing well. So I would imagine there's a part of Chris Weidman that thinks, fuck, man, if these little things don't go wrong, I'm still right there. Now, he may very well do better at 205 because weight cutting in our sport is a major issue across the fucking board for every goddamn body. The best example of all time, Anthony Johnson, even though he fucking freaked out and decided to go be a St. Louis fucking strength and whatever the fuck he's doing in St. Louis, smoking ribs or whatever. Great idea, though, man. It might be good for him to move up. But, you know, I don't know. Listen, it ain't his fucking fault. The goddamn refs stopped the shit. Next thing you know, they stopped the fight. I almost kind of feel bad for Weidman because, yeah, he shouldn't have been fucking around playing tippy-toe on the ground. But there's new fucking rules. It's one hand, it's two hands. What fucking city are we in? You know, the whole thing was a bunch of fucking horse shit, man. I feel low-key bad for the guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. Also, fellas, though, keep in mind one thing you can really credit Weidman for, though. I think he spoke about it recently on why, like, there's no technically a tune-up fight or something for him because he doesn't want to fight those guys. It's not an ideal matchup for him. He's already been to the top of the mountain. He seems like he wants to, you know, reclaim that. Yeah, because he just doesn't want to be known as, you know, dicing somebody up who's a nobody or so and say, oh, you fought that dude. So credit to Chris as he keeps continuing to fight like the toughest dudes. And he's probably one fucking loss away from Bellator at this point. Like Fred said about the outcome of a Mousasi fight. Well, he more than likely is going to fight like at Long Island. I think the Nassau show is what they're planning on. And could be Gegard. It could be the rematch. Who knows?
Listen, I hear a lot of people talking about tune-up fights in MMA recently. So I'm curious, quickly on a side note here, what you guys think about this. I personally, like for Jon Jones, for instance, a lot of people wonder whether he should take a tune-up fight. I personally think it's a horrible idea in MMA because things are too fucking crazy. Listen, if Jon Jones comes back and loses to DC, so what? DC is a goddamn animal. If you line him up with fucking John Vellante, and let's just say John Vellante lands the fucking lucky Hail Mary, that's detrimental. Like Chris Weidman, he loses the Gegard, you can still bounce back from that. If he had got knocked out by fucking,
Patrick Cummins,
whoever the fuck, that's and listen, MMA's crazy, man. These gloves, a bad night, fucking anything's possible. So tune-up fights for guys like that at this level scare the shit out of me, especially if I'm a fan of the guy, because anything can happen.
Maybe not a tune-up fight, but a non-top 5 matchup is what I'd like to see.
Hear this one out. Check it out. Whitaker just knocked that Jocker, right? That's exactly one of the examples that Fred was talking about. What if, just throwing out there, Weidman wants to be a 205er, right? Weidman Jones, not really a tune-up fight, but not a top 5 fight either.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
What up?
If I'm Weidman, I'm into it. Fucking A, let's go. But if I'm Jones, fuck that horse shit. I'm gonna lose to a fucking 85er who couldn't cut it there.
Or you're gonna beat him. It's not a tune-up fight.
I have faith in Jones smashing whoever they put in front of him, except maybe Cormier next.
Jesse, what's your thoughts on that?
But here's the thing, like what Fred said, I agree that a lot of guys probably shouldn't take tune-up fights. But my example for a great tune-up fight was Dominic Cruz against Takeya Mizugaki, right?
Totally.
That was a good fighter, not one of the best, but a good fighter, a good test. And you get in there, you shake off that ring rust. Because imagine, let's say you get a guy that's off a long layoff like Jones. You put him in there with a guy that's been pretty active like DC. You're not going to get the best result possible, in my opinion. I think you're going to get a kind of just tentative Jon Jones. You're not going to get the right fight that we want to see. And I'd rather see the best fight possible between the two of them instead of like DC wins and then we're all going to be saying the same thing. Well, that wasn't the real Jon Jones. He just came back from a long layoff. There's going to be so many excuses. DC's never going to get past that loss or that win. You want him to have a victory.
2 things, though. A, what if Mizugaki won? Hindsight's 20/20. If he knocked Dominic's funny ass out, that'd be a major blunder. B, Al just came back from 2 years and starts Diego. So what the fuck do we know about it?
Yeah, but I feel like the Al Diego thing was like a good tune-up fight for Al. If they threw Al in there with Edson Barbosa, that'd be fucked up after 2 years, right?
That's very true.
So, I mean, my thing with that is like, not like you don't need to throw him in with fucking Daniel Kelly, right? You can throw him in with a guy who's like bottom 15, like bottom of the top 15, who's decent, who's going to give them some time to work on it, right? In boxing, they give them ring time, right? A guy comes off a layoff, they want to get him 6 rounds, 8 rounds, whatever, right? We want to get the guy coming back like a couple rounds where he can get into the fight, ease into it, start to feel like himself again, before we throw him in there with fucking DC, who's a top 7 of all time MMA fighter on a 2-year layoff, right? Where the first time they fought, like, Jones fucked him up, but I mean, it was close in spots, right? And that was the best Jon Jones, or the best Coke 3 weeks out Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, before we get off this topic, back to Weidman. Clearly, he ain't getting shit overturned. It was fucked up, but nothing's getting overturned.
Who does he fight next?
Yeah. Do you guys think he should get the rematch with Mousasi because it was ended on a sour note? Or what do you think should happen with Weidman next?
I think Mousasi won. Fuck it. Mousasi goes forward. Weidman fights someone else. I feel like that's punishing Gegard for Weidman just for that bullshit where, like, in my personal opinion, Gegard was going to finish him anyway. It was just a matter of time at that point in that fight. Like, he was gassing. He couldn't get him down. Like, on the feet, he was getting tuned up. Like, give Gegard his win.
Hey, look, with 185 on fucking ice because of GSP Bisping and all that bullshit, yeah, make the rematch. It's not going to hurt anybody at that point. If Mousasi wins again, great. You know what I mean? It's no one's going anywhere anyway. Everyone's stuck in the top 5.
Dave.
Fuck it, Sam Alvey versus Weidman, right? Fuck it. There's nobody else.
God, you know what it is? I think Dave's jealous because Sam Alvey got a dime piece in his corner.
How about tallest, latest Weidman? That's like a good matchup. Like,
yeah,
that's like
there's not many. Yeah, most of them are booked too. That's why I was mentioning like Vitor Belfort's stepping in to fight Silva, right? That's official now, right?
Oh, is that official? That's cool.
They were talking about.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna look that up because now I want to see that fight for some reason. I just want to see that fight go down.
It was weird the first time because Anderson fucking psyched him out with the mask and the fucking tricks. That's why.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that was a HGH juiced up Vitor too. So
it was. Anderson psyched him out. He put the mask on and he got in Vitor's head because he knows Vitor's weak in the head. Anderson's a genius.
Look, I'd say for Weidman, I'd say there's two options. Number one, if you really want to give him a really gimme fight to kind of see where he's at, Dan Kelly. But if you really want to give him kind of a step up from that, I say Derek Brunson.
That's a good one.
I like that one. I like the Derek Brunson one.
What about the homie Gay Shad?
Yeah, they could do that.
They're not booked?
Well, Dan Kelly's booked to fight Brunson, and then if Vitor Anderson's on, that leaves Uriah Hall. We know Johnny Hendricks is fighting Tim Boach at 185. That's where we're at in the 185 division these days.
Wait, how long is Kelvin out?
He could be back soon enough, but we don't know how long you are out, Eddie. To let us know.
Is Rashad staying at 85?
No, I think.
Yeah, he ought to stay.
Jesse, you saying no?
I'm just saying Dan Kelly by decision over Chris Weidman.
Yeah, Jesse, you were saying no for that or what?
What for what?
For Rashad at 185?
No, yeah, that's a good one. But I mean, again, Rashad is a little shop worn, so I mean, I don't want to see him get hurt either. But I mean, yeah, that's
what the fuck? Jesus, stop being such a pussy. What are you, the fighter's advocate? I don't want to see him get hurt.
Whoa. Are we not
counterintuitive to watching MMA?
Jesse, what you saying?
I said, aren't we the advocates here? I'm supposed to be advocating for their health, right? Their safety?
No, man, you ain't Dr. Phil Good. We're advocating for the sport.
I mean, if Rashad losing to Daniel Kelly didn't convince him to retire, I'm here for watching him get knocked out because he's clearly not that smart.
Okay, real quick on Twitter, one of our boys, Nick, he says, listening online, stick a fork in Weidman. He won't sniff a 185 title again. With Yoel waiting, give me Gegard versus Whitaker. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they need to do that.
I
can't hate on that. That's fun. I
like that as well. All right, moving on here. The Frank Mir thing, everyone's confused. We're talking about it before the show started. Frank Mir being suspended, I think, 2 years for what the fuck? I mean, Jesse, I think you're the one that read the most into it. Can you explain what you understand about it?
All right, so basically, a lot of basicallys here. Here comes the bro science. So he got popped for some like tiny amount of what is it? Not even the steroid. It's just like the after residue of whatever steroid he supposedly took. So they gave him a window of a time when he could have been taking this stuff, which around that time he had taken a test and it came back clean. So under his understanding was that USADA had gone back and retested that sample. Well, it turns out they didn't. They went back now and retested that sample from before, and they found out that he also had some of that residual whatever in his blood. So he failed for that test as well. So now they're telling him basically that the test is so sensitive that it could pick up any hints of this drug or anything from up to 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Oh my God.
If he had ingested this stuff at any point in his entire life from a few years ago. Which, if you remember, this actually goes back into when he was doing he had a TUE for testosterone, which was legal at the time. So there's a lot of things that he could have been taking. There's a lot of things that he could have been doing before USADA came in that would give him this false positive. The thing is that now the test is under scrutiny because there are a lot of players that are suing them because they're saying that test is inaccurate. So it's kind of a little like we're trying to figure out if the test is actually accurate and really doing what it's supposed to be doing. And now it's going against like Frank Frank Mir in this case because now he's being tested and now he's saying that he's failed multiple tests, which now they're saying he's suspended for 2 years, so he won't be eligible to fight till April of next year, I believe.
Okay, so I didn't really understand any of that still. I feel like if it's an after effect, like that's like some fucking like, oh, I'm James Harden, I'm gonna like run into your arm and get a foul called on me shit.
Pretty much.
But Frank Mir is a cheater. I knew Frank Mir was a cheater as soon as I saw Frank Mir's side job was that he worked the fucking door here at the Spearmint Rhino and he was a married man. So I would not put anything past him. That's my second point.
Whoa. Do you mean a cheater as in fucking other bitches on his wife or as in taking
I feel
steroids?
like he's just a cheater in all respects. I saw him before the second Brock Lesnar fight. He was jacked up, like talking about his weightlifting routine. I feel like Frank Mir cheats at Monopoly. I feel like Frank Mir cheats on his taxes.
This guy,
Frank Mir an opportunity to cheat at some shit. That's my thought on Frank Mir.
he's like, I seen him at the fucking swingers club downtown working the door. No fucking wife. This fucking guy's a cheater across the board.
Hey, for real though, look, against Brock Lesnar, I don't blame him. I'd have been like, hey, Frank, do whatever you got to do, man. You're about to fight some massive motherfucker. But Dave, you had something?
No, I'll say what I know about the whole situation is kangaroo steaks.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, a lot of that shit going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Real quick, Fred, Eastside Rider says, Fred, the Michael Vick of MMA. Do you get that reference?
As me or me?
Yeah. No, you. Oh, wait, no, yeah. No, Fred is the Michael Vick of MMA. So you're the Michael Vick of MMA, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't fight dogs and I ain't been to the joint and I'm Caucasian. So again, I think one of our fans is effing the ethers.
Sniffing ether.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's move on to
As simply put, the test is in question. So let's just wait to see what happens because there's a lot of doctors basically saying that test is invalid. It's coming up with false positives. So let's just wait to see what happens.
Simply put, does anybody want to see Frank Mir fight again?
No.
I don't really care.
He's 37 years old.
Yeah, I hold him near and dear to my heart.
Love him. One of my favorites.
When he heel hooked Brock Lesnar,
Amazing.
A part of my soul sung. But man, those were the good old days, Jack. Like if Frank Mir never fought again, all due respect, I could care less. So
that guy doesn't exist anymore. The guy that broke Nogueira's arm ain't here anymore. He ain't walked through the door like fucking knocking out Czech Conga. That guy don't live here no more.
Yeah, I agree.
The problem is that as it stays right now, Frank Mir cannot make money anywhere else fighting because
he can't bounce at the titty bone.
His contract is on hold. That means he can't just time out of his contract. Nothing. He's on hold until his suspension is up. Then they can talk about whether they want to give him another fight. They want to release him from his contract. All that stuff. So right now, his whole life and livelihood is attached to the UFC and his contract that he has with them. He's making money right now by doing seminars and doing the play-by-play for what is it that Russian
ACB.
Yeah, ACB.
So I mean, he's making money that way, but he's not able to compete. So that's why this is kind of important to everybody involved in that situation. Once he's able to get his release from the UFC, either he gets to fight or he can go to Russia and make some money. But he just wants to make some.
That's what he'll do. We'll see Frank Mir in a Russian boxing match in about 6 months' time.
Fuck that, Rising.
Kadyrov in the photo.
Fuck it, Rising. Do all the juice, Frank. Do all the juice and go beat some people up in Rising. Fight to the death. All right, moving on here. Let's talk about some Bellator, man. King Mo gets hurt, so Ryan Bader gets his replacement fight. He gets a title shot because King Mo got hurt. Takes on Phil Davis. I think it's pretty sure it's a rematch. Yeah, it is a rematch. So for the title and Bellator, I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I'm just like, sure, whatever. I don't really care to see Ryan Bader fight.
Shrug. I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sick of seeing King Mo, because what the fuck is he the king of? No shit, he gets hurt again. Like, dude, number one, he sucks. Number two, he pulls out of every other fight. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Bader versus Phil Davis, that was kind of a boring fight the first time. I fell asleep on my couch during it. I was living on the East Coast then, so it was on at like 1 a.m. on one of those terribly paced FX shows. But it wasn't great. It was all right, you know? I mean, I think I'm happy for Ryan Bader because I feel like Ryan Bader deserves to make money, and Ryan Bader's real destiny is to be like the long reigning Bellator champion. So, war Ryan Bader.
All right. Well, I mean, look, it's a rematch. I mean, Fred, we weren't really excited to see this fight in the first place.
This is hideous on every level. This very well could be the kiss of death for Bellator. They better hope that one of these chumps gets injured and they get to fucking put Kimbo's son in there or some shit. Because let me tell you something. This here at the box office is gonna fucking tank. Not even the dude bros are sold on this one, Jack. Like, this has just got boring fight written all over it. The first fight sucked. We all seen that coming. These guys are great fighters. They're very dominant at what they do. Ironically enough, and sadly enough, they do the same thing. So, man, styles make fights. Sometimes they're exciting and fun, and sometimes they're boring as fuck. And this is just one of those deals where I could be wrong. Watch them come out and get in a slugfest, and it'd be great. But more than likely, bro, this is a fucking dud.
My only thought on that is that Bader in interviews, and take interviews for what they are, he's been talking about how that now he has his sponsorship money back, and now that he's getting guaranteed when you win or lose, he's going to be like more secure to let his hands fly. So, I mean, maybe that's the truth.
True.
It's not, but I mean, I could buy that to like talk myself into watching this fight if I ain't got shit else to do on a Friday, maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's part of that. I don't know what card it's going to be on, but I don't think it's a pay-per-view. Fred.
No, but listen, I'm sure that's what he's thinking until old Phil Davis gets those hands snug around his hips, and I bet you he switches his tone real quick so as not to get taken down and laid on.
Yeah.
He don't want to lose, Jack.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? So, and
like
Phil
that.
Davis don't give a shit about Ryan Bader's need to be exciting all of a sudden. He wants to stay.
Phil Davis will run away from you.
He's going. He wants to win, and I can't listen. At the end of the day, he's wearing the gold. He's making all right money. I can't hate on him. It's just a bad matchup, man. Not for either fighter. It's a bad matchup for the fans.
It's a not fun matchup to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's a bad matchup for us.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Jesse, anything on it?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. I take my thought. I have nothing on it. I'm like, okay, whatever's gonna happen. All right.
I think like what you were saying, Ed, though, if it's a 6-fight main card, it'll kick the main card off, but I think it's still going to be headlining
by putting everyone to sleep. That's just going to be awful.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if the fight, they'd have to switch around the Gallagher Chinzo Machida fight, but I'm pretty damn sure that even though it's a different matchup, a little bit more likable fight, it's not going to be on the main card. Still same placement. I'm pretty sure.
All right, let's hope so. All right, moving on. CM Punk's going into reality television. He's gonna do that one MTV show. I don't know, but they're putting him as a professional fighter. I don't agree.
He's gonna get dominated. I love the challenge, and all those dudes are on roids. All those dudes are good athletes, and all those dudes have been doing these challenges for like 10 years. It's literally their career. Like, they train for it year round. Like, I used to follow those dudes on Instagram. They're on podcasts about it. Like, those dudes are about that life. What's CM Punk, like 40? He's not athletic. His body's ripped to shit. He's going to get fucked up. He'll be the first dude out. The dude who you should be afraid of on that team is Sean Merriman.
With no
steroid testing in a challenge, fuck that. I would just quit and run away. No, thank you.
Sean Merriman's a big motherfucker. For real.
Isn't he signed to Bellator? Doesn't have a fight booked in Bellator yet?
Merriman?
Yeah, he was signed to Bellator.
Have you seen his Instagram? Because he puts up his like
whoa
mid sessions and all that.
What the fuck are y'all talking about, Jack? Challenge of what?
MTV Real World Road Rules Challenge.
Go ahead, explain it to him.
No, I get it. I know what it is. I just didn't think that's what you meant. CM Punk is about to go do that show.
Yes.
So he's not really a fighter, right? Like,
nobody knows anymore.
Is he done in the UFC then? Okay. What do we do? Why are we talking about this?
It was on there, dude. I was wondering what everyone thought about it.
I mean,
he's going to go over there and get mugged by
UFC for like a $500,000 and a bunch of attention. But yeah, I mean, that's what that was.
Wow.
We need Fred Kirby versus CM Punk. That's about as far as I care about CM. Right?
Listen,
Or
I am under no delusions that I can handle any other fighter under the UFC roster, but I promise you, 3 shots of Jaeger, a Blunster, and I will throw CM Punk a beating. No doubt about it.
Oh fuck! Make it in Dayton. I want to see this shit over there. I will fly.
I'd
to
like
fucking
to see
Dayton
them like go carnival style and have someone from the crowd fight CM Punk because I'm pretty sure at 50 he loses.
For sure. I'm sure I can knock CM Punk out. No doubt.
You know what? I can't say I disagree, honestly. Anyway, all right. Real quick, this is weirding me out because I watched someone put up the GIF or whatever the hell on Twitter of Cindy Dandois throwing hands at in her last fight. Did that look retarded to anybody else?
Yeah,
I was laughing.
So bad. Like, I mean, I've seen girls who I've taken girls to Muay Thai classes who have literally never trained before who have thrown better punches than that.
Dude, it's like she was walking forward with her arms out, and like hoping she could, like someone like Alexis would walk into her fucking hand and knock herself out. That and then fucking people. No, I fucking said that shit. People got pissed off, started defending her. Like,
Isn't Alexis Davis a kickboxing Muay Thai champion striker person?
She's a striker.
Allegedly.
How in the fuck does a striker not murk that broad?
Exactly.
I wasn't even listen.
He's a striker the way Wonder Boy's a kickboxing champion. Like,
yeah, but fuck, at least Wonder Boy's a precise striker.
Right,
like,
no, he's better. But I mean, like, they just bought those titles, man.
Yeah, Homegirl's a grappler, so of course her striking looks like shit because she's like trying to hoist Gracie.
Alberta, like regional 6-block area, like Muay Thai champion.
Yeah.
But legit, I was laughing my ass off. People get mad at me though, so I'm saying like they were like fucking defending her and shit. I'm like, dude, fucking, did you not watch that shit? Like,
we're striking in MMA, like we're striking in a UFC, right?
I thought Betch Correa was worse. I'm not like I thought she was the worst I've seen, and then I saw Cindy Dandois.
Yeah, I mean that was like Betch looked like fucking what's her name, Mathis and DeMathis compared to Dandois.
Yeah. Like so for everyone giving me shit on Saturday because I said that Cindy Dandois looked like shit striking, eat a dick. She don't belong in the UFC. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Even though she did get robbed, she did win that fight, in my opinion. Just up the grappling, but it was an awful fight. All right, let's be honest. All right, moving on here. So real quick, let's talk some Cyborg, and then we'll talk about fight bookings. Cyborg is mad at the UFC obviously for not giving her a fight. She's asking for her release and all that other shit. But she's also mad at Brian Stan for like I forget exactly what he said about her. But Fred's already doing the crying thing. I'm gonna find out what Brian Stan said. But go ahead.
Who gives a fuck? Like, make the weight, baby girl. Make the weight. The UFC's here. They built the title, the whole division for you. Make the weight. I don't want to hear her crying no more. Like, Jermaine Durand to me is holding your belt. Come take this shit. Stop. I don't want to hear nothing out of you, dog. Make the weight.
I mean, it's always something with Cyborg, right? Like, Brian Stan is like a saint of a man, and Brian Stan's talking shit about you. Like, to me, that just means, and I'm sure Cyborg's a really nice lady. Like, I've heard she's nice from people who have, like, trained at fucking Rain when she was there and stuff. But, like, fuck, man, it's always something with her.
Yeah, I agree with Fred and John. I mean, it's what we all been saying on many of these episodes. Like Fred said, they created a goddamn division. She couldn't make it. It was USADA. Now USADA's gone. Make the weight. We all want to see that fight with GDR, and we all would pick her to win the fight more than likely, right? But she got to make the weight and get the fuck in the cage. That's all I care about Cyborg.
She said, I'm sorry. She said she's mad at the UFC.
Okay, she's mad at the UFC for not giving her a fight, but then she called out Brian Stan for calling her difficult because she's been turning down fights.
Jesus fucking Christ! You gotta call.
Is there not like a 10-year pattern of her being difficult? Like, fuck, man, I'm a Cyborg fan, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesse, what do you think about that? Because that girl trains over at your side of town.
I just have to reiterate the fact that she's crazy. But you know what? Yeah, she turned down a lot of fights, and now she wants to make a fight on her own terms, right? Now she wants the Anaheim fight. How's the UFC gonna go? Yeah. You turned down all these fights. Yeah, no problem. We'll give you a fight. No, now it's on the champ's terms, and now she has to abide by those rules. Oh well.
Yeah.
Sign on the contract and wait for the contract. Oh well.
Yeah, so Brian Stan called her difficult, and then Cyber, of course, takes to Twitter. Someone take her fucking phone away, or take her manager, fucking cut his ass off. Who is that? I think Ali's her manager, right?
Yeah,
fucking cut that asshole off, because he tweets like an idiot, but he goes, Yeah, but
At least he
Cyborg.
remembered to like not sign out of his account this time.
Yeah, right. So Cyborg/Ali said, tweeted out, "Oh, I figured out what Brian Stann was on the American radio denigrating me. Now I know why he does not like Brazilians." So they put up a GIF of
because Brian's
Vanderlei.
racist against Brazilians. Okay.
Exactly, but she put up the GIF. Of, she put the GIF of Vanderlei Silva, beating him. But here's what amazes me: that there's even a possibility that Cyborg knows how to use the word denigrating.
Yeah, no chance, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
there you go.
Ali, we're on to you, motherfucker.
Who runs Cyborg's social media shit?
Abdelaziz, dude.
Probably Ali, yeah.
It's-
But then there was also like
I'm gonna tell you
noted
something.
awful person Angela Mangana retweeted a direct message from Ray Elby where he basically was like speaking as Cyborg's like consigliere and like was like, oh, you don't think Cyborg's good? The pro training at Alliance is 12:30. Maybe she'll come down and show you firsthand, which is just like so like typical fighter like bully behavior. Like, oh, you said something bad about me, I'm gonna beat you up even though you're 30 pounds below my weight class and you're a fucking jobette who's like never won anything, right?
I'm gonna tell you something. I think Ali might have been stalking my Instagram one time.
What?
Fucking Cyborg's account followed me and started liking my selfies and shit. Me being the conceited cocksucker I am, I thought she just wanted to give me some pussy. It was probably that prick Ali.
It's not Ali. I'll just tell you that much. It's not Ali that's doing that.
Probably
You think
not.
so?
Probably not.
Look, it ain't Cyborg.
Interesting.
No, it's not
Somebody
Cyborg.
on that end.
Her boyfriend.
I mean, I probably did it. Just
What?
like
She's a boyfriend.
Sex with the greatest female fighter ever.
She has a boyfriend. He's the one that put out the statement on what she popped like a moron because you're not supposed to say anything about what you popped for until USADA comes out with it.
Oh,
And then he's the one that's been doing all the social media.
Yeah.
So maybe he.
Well, they need to get rid of him.
Reason.
I remember that statement, like basically like admitted the shit they weren't supposed to admit or something. Like it basically fucked them on that TUE because like, yeah, like he said, like you're supposed to like not say shit, you know? Like you say lawyer and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, real quick in the YouTube comments, Eastside Writer says, how about that takedown defense on the Lexus? Same as Carlos Condit or worse. And then says, crazy as Lindsay Lohan, looks like Vanderlei. God damn, talking about Cyborg.
Oh, did you guys happen to see a video? It showed Vanderlei Silva training like in a gym, and he was getting lit up just by some random gym rat recently.
I did that.
Did you guys see that shit?
Well, he hasn't been training like legit because he didn't know he was gonna be able to fight.
Like years, yeah. I think he hasn't been training, but yeah, I saw what you're talking about.
And after you see that video, you just might pick Chael Sonnen to beat him.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
I mean, Chael may rest. I don't even know, man. Who gives a fuck? Why is Chael Sonnen still a thing? Go away.
No.
Why is that? Let me tell you something. After seeing that video, if you actually still pay for this pay-per-view, you should fucking go hang yourself afterwards.
$50 too?
What the fuck? That fight is almost assuredly gonna suck. Let me tell you something. I like Fedor, but there's a good chance that fight fucking has a weird ending, or you know how this shit goes, man. I think that fucking New York show for Bellator is gonna be a goddamn disaster.
I think
really
it's
do.
terrible. I think it's gonna be depressing. Like I don't think they're gonna be good fights. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Be good.
All right, fellas. Dave, what you got on fight bookings?
Well, if it is indeed booked, we'll start with the pretty big one where Vitor, he was calling for CM Punk, but he gets Anderson Silva.
By the way, I would have made that fight. I would have fucking made that fight.
I totally would have been down.
Yeah, so we're fortunately not going to see that one. We all wanted to see that one, but it looks like definitely it's going to be the step in again to fight Silva down in Rio on the Max Holloway title defense or title unification bout. And
a Bellator bout in the UFC. Does Bellator get co-booking because it's like dudes who are 40 and past their prime?
Yeah.
That's well, it's something to get. Well, it's besides like Rashad booking, I think it's proper though. Yeah, and then Gastelum's on to doing bigger things. I think he gets the whole marijuana thing sealed up, and then he's like a dark horse at 185. So, 1225 added 2 bouts. Mark Diakese against Drakkar Klaus, and that's an interesting bout too because I did hear that Lando was supposed to fight Drakkar Klaus. So, but Diakese, a lot of hype. He's like one of the latest hype trains to spring about, and that kid could be deadly at 55. So pretty tough cat, and Klaus as well. So that's a sweet matchup for the hardcores, of course.
A real knockout for DKC. That's like Klaus is like a no power, not that good kickboxer. Like that's a tailor-made like DKC one punch or one kick KO this dude matchup to me.
Yeah. And then also tough 25 added Jared Cannonier and Steve Baze. So Baze's back. We know Baze likes to throw down.
Someone's gonna die.
And yeah, that's going to be hammers are going to be thrown in that one, and somebody's going to drop more than likely. So, but it's been since the Sean O'Connell fight. I think he hasn't fought since then. So definitely took some time off after his brain got rattled in that fight. So he'll be back this summer. Tough 25 high up on the card as well.
I like Cannonier is like one of those dudes who isn't that good either. So.
Well, they just threw him to the Lions Den again too. Or who did he fight his last fight?
Glover, and Glover couldn't finish him. Glover just kept taking
true.
Not being able to do anything.
Yeah, so he's already Baze out a pretty good test and kind of proper matchmaking there. On to July 16th, the Scotland card. UFC's announced the Scotland card, a couple bouts. Khalil Roundtree against the Bear Jew, Andrew Craig. I think that's going to be like the co-main event or something on that one. And Mark Godbeer will take on Justin Willis. Heavyweight bout there, pretty interesting. Heavyweights low key there. Jack Marshman and Ryan James are also slated for that card too as well. And also too, I think it's official. I'm pretty goddamn sure it's official. Is Valentina Shevchenko and Nunez on the UFC 213 card.
That's a really good fight. I'm psyched for that one. Shevchenko,
it's about
looking great, man. And Nunez has looked bulletproof the last couple of fights. Their first fight was close too. And that's 5 rounds. Sign me up for that one. I'm here for that.
All right. Anything else, Dave?
Yeah, no, that should complete it. That's why hopefully that is the slated bout, is like 2 titles will be defended on the 213. And then we know a couple weeks later they're trying to hype up and get the Jones Cormier deal. So hopefully
I heard Cormier
we find out soon.
Not for July 29th, but is that official or no?
No, it's not official.
Okay.
It's just like an open, like what they basically did are like, all right, John, get into the gym, get ready, you got plenty of time. It's like 3 weeks after the date where he's eligible to fight, so everything's got to go perfect in order for it to happen, and it involves John Jones. So we will fucking see what plays out, and forever interesting, Mr. Johnny Jones.
You're Mr. Albuquerque. What do you think? You think he fights on that date or no?
I know for a fact he's in the gym and he's running around the downtown area of Albuquerque, like running, like physically running, not running downtown.
Running people over and shit, hitting pregnant women.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
So from my knowledge, though, I know he does his his private training now. John's training is like super secret stuff now, and like his weight training and all that is kind of. He'll send a tweet out here and there, but from what I know, he's back in the gym. He's preparing for DC, as far as I know.
All right, cool. One more thing here on the YouTube side. Ryder says, if Chael wins another fight, I'll move the date in the same trailer park as Fred.
Go Vanderlei.
There you go. All right, fellas. That's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Jesse for 1983. You can follow Kirby, Fred. Goddamn, I'm so out of it. Kirby _MMA. Of course, Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. What's your Twitter handle there, John?
At John's Crazy Life, JONS Crazy Life.
All right, you can follow me at Elo31. The pages at Crossbones MMA, and of course the MMA at the MMA Advocates. Shout out to Fight Book MMA. Shout out to Represent. Go to reptheadvocates.com. Get yourself a shirt, a hat, a bag. Got a lot of good shit coming up and new stuff dropping next week. So make sure you keep an eye on that at reptheadvocates.com. For everybody here, thank you for watching. Thanks for rolling with us. We'll catch you guys next week. And good night, Wiltshire.